Hey guys, it's Kevin again, and in this video I'm going to be reviewing Supernatural Season 9, Episode 10, Road Trip. And I really enjoyed this episode. I thought this was another really great episode. There was a lot of stuff I really enjoyed about it, especially the whole Galadriel thing being wrapped up. Not really wrapped up, but kind of a continuation about that. I do like that we have a recurring storyline, because before the Galadriel thing, we really did not have a recurring storyline on the show. Now we do, and I really do enjoy that. So let's just start off with the beginning. So we start off with, you know how Kevin died at the end of the last episode? Well, Dean is burning his body, and he's watching the flames. You can clearly see that he really is blaming himself for this. He's breaking things, and I really like how the music was playing, and it was, really, really sad, honestly. That was probably one of the saddest scenes we've seen all season. So we're backstage at a concert, and the rock star is getting last-minute notes before the show, and we find Galadriel waiting for him, and he says he's enjoying being a rock god rather than an angel, and this was the guy that tortured Galadriel while he was in prison, and it turns out that Galadriel has, had a boyfriend that he tortured as well. He wastes no time in wasting the angel for good with one of the special knives. Dean is packing up weapons when Cass comes in. He says he came as soon as he could get there and asks what's wrong with Dean. And he tells him about Sam and Kevin, and Cass questions why he would let an angel possess his brother. And Dean wants to track Sam down, and Cass asks who is inside Sam. But Dean does not know, so Cass reminds him if he kills the angel, he kills Sam too. So Dean says he was stupid, and Cass says he was for the right reasons, and Cass says that Sam is strong and would fight and cast him out of it if he knew he was being possessed. Dean says he's in the dark, doesn't know how they can clue him in, and Cass tells him that the demons can bypass an angel possession and talk to the host, so they go to talk to Crowley, who, let me just say, Crowley stole the show in this episode. Everything that Crowley said in this episode, Crowley just stole the show, in my opinion. I thought he was hilarious this episode in a lot of scenes. He turns down their offer of blood and asks for a message from Kevin, and Dean tells him that Kevin is dead, and Crowley agrees to help, but only if they take him on a field trip so he can stretch his legs, and he says he can't teach them to crack open an angel, but he can do it for them. So Sam took Dean's car, but Cass says he has a car nearby that mysteriously stopped, and Dean doesn't want to enlist his help, but then agrees. So the three walk to the car, gas can in hand. Cass doesn't understand gasoline. A woman feeding her dog notices them, and Cass threatens to kill Crowley. And if he betrays them, Crowley calls shotgun, but Dean sends them both to the back, where they bicker. They head off with rap music blaring and hydraulics on the car bouncing them around. What was really funny about this is it was kind of like Sam having to deal with, Sam having to deal with, not Sam, but Dean having to deal with the two of them. I thought it was really, really funny. They had to keep dealing with the two of them. I just thought that was really funny. So, Metatron meets Galadriel at the bar to get the angel tablets. He asks why he didn't also kill Dean. He says he wasn't given the name, and Galadriel confirms he killed Kevin and Metatron. Says there will be no more prophets, and Metatron chides him for not taking initiative and taking out Dean. He gives him another name, Alexander Sarver, and he asks how many more he'll have to kill. So Metatron tells him to stop asking questions and obey, and if he wants to be second in command, restore his name in heaven. The lady with the dog now has a bowl full of blood, and she killed the dog, and she uses it to call Abaddon, to tell her she saw Crowley. So Crowley, Dean, and Cass wait at a business office. Crowley tells him it's a cover faculty for an NSA listening organization that he planned someone there. Cecily, she asks why he's there with Dean, and then tells him that Cass is more attractive than she imagined. She fills him on how Cass had his grace taken and was left human until he cut the throat of another angel and stole his grace. She also tells him how he has a satellite tuned on ancient radio. He asks about hell and says that no one there gives a damn. She tells Abaddon he isn't really the boss, and most are waiting to see if he or she comes out on top. And he asks about the cuffs, and she confirms that he needs the keys. He asks her to trace Dean's car, and he tells her it's nice that she's loyal, and she demurs, and he asks if she's planning both sides, and she asks wouldn't he. And Crowley comes down to the location and says Sam is in Pennsylvania. They head off Galadriel, and come to Sarver's house, and they're surprised to see it's actually his old angel buddy Abner, who thought Galadriel was dead. A little girl runs out, calls Abner Daddy, and he introduces them. He tells Galadriel to come back in a few hours to talk. So he does, and he tells Galadriel that the guy was a wife beater, but he once took over his family and he was better off. He tells him he works in tech support, which is like answering prayers, except it works. I'm sorry, I just missed my place. They talk, and after being locked up in Heaven's prison together, Galadriel tells him that he killed their torturer, and Abner tells him to let go of all the hates and be happy with the aftermath of the fail, and he says the price is worth paying. So the three amigos show up to where Dean's car, that's what they said here, the three amigos, because it's definitely like the Three Musketeers, basically. They show up to where Dean's car is in time to catch Galadriel, Sam washing up after killing his friend Abner. So Abaddon shows them to see Cecily because she called to tell that Crowley was there, but she isn't happy. Cecily helped him and kills her as a punishment. So the guys have Galadriel locked down, and Cass says that Sam's body is mostly healed. Cass asks who he is, and Galadriel refuses to tell him. Crowley tells him that if he doesn't help out, they'll torment him. Galadriel tells him to go ahead and kill Sam. Galadriel tells him he has Sam in a dream and thinks he's working a case about ghouls and cheerleaders. And Dean asks why he's doing this, and Galadriel admits that he's doing what he has to do. And the big question is, why are they just killing cheerleaders? I'm really not sure. We'll have to see. There's got to be more of a reason to this. He turns a rod, and Galadriel recites his name. Crowley says it's his name, and Cass says he's been in prison since the dawn of time for allowing Lucifer into the Guardian. Crowley calls him a celebrity, and Cass says that demons, hell, and corporation of men are all Galadriel's fault for being weak. He grabs Sam's body and shakes it and saying he ruined the universe. Crowley tells him it's a long time because it's complicated. Galadriel comes in and tells Gene he'll never find his brother. He says he can sit in that chair forever and has endured much worse and has all the time in the world. Dean calls for Plan B and tells Cass to possess him. So Cass says he can't go in without permission. Crowley tells him he can. As a demon, he doesn't need an invitation. So Crowley says he can burrow in and wake Sam up. Dean isn't happy, and Crowley says he'll work fast. If the angel finds him there, he'll kill him. They agree to find Crowley if he can find Sam. Cass burns off Sam's anti-demon tattoo. And this is such an intense scene. I really enjoyed this. Dean tells him to tell Sam Poughkeepsie and says it's their safety word. Poughkeepsie, something like that. And Crowley hops out of his body and into Sam's as Galadriel says, I will destroy you. And Crowley says, eat me, it's on. So Crowley finds Sam reading a table at a bunker. And Sam panics and calls for Dean until Crowley says, Poughkeepsie again. He tells him that the real Dean sent him and that he's being possessed by an angel. To prove it, he shoots him and Sam sees he wasn't shot. Crowley tells him he's seen everything that Galadriel has and he just needs to remember. Sam does and asks if he killed Kevin, and Crowley tells him Galadriel did and that he needs to take control and cast that punk-ass holy roller out. So suddenly Galadriel's there and Crowley says bullocks. So Crowley calls Galadriel a chump and he says he's going to be a hero and lead the angels back into heaven. He begins to give the demon a beatdown to end all beatdowns. Sam steps in being beaten too. Crowley shouts at him to take control and cast him out. Galadriel says if he leaves it up, he might die. Sam whacks him in the head, knocks him down, and casts him out. The white lie pours out as he goes. Rachel Rowan back at the bar. The bartender asks if Metatron is waiting on someone. He says he's late, and then every glass in the bar breaks, and the bartender says yes, and the white light soars into him. Galadriel's back. Metatron asks if it was Winchester trouble. Crowley shouts out of Sam, and he comes to. They see lights outside the door of the warehouse, and it's Abaddon, some croonies. Crowley tells them to go out the back. They head out, and Dean tells him they're not square, and he'll kill him if he sees him. So Crowley says, I love you too, and the guys leave, and Abaddon comes in, and she demands that her henchmen bring her Crowley's head, but they don't. He tells her demons aren't that obedient. He addresses the other demons and says he knows they miss their loving king, and says that Abaddon is strong, and he understands why they would buy her line of crap, and he tells him that her father's home, and Abaddon says hell is hers. So she challenges him and says it's not a fight, but a campaign for hearts and minds. He tells her the demons have a choice to follow the world's angriest ginger or him with all the entrails they can eat and virgin apiece. He tells him to think about it and vote for Crowley, then blinks out of there. So Cass gives Sam a healing treatment and says they'll have to do it in stages and it will take time to get him better. So Sam tells Dean he's pissed for lying to him again and says he should have let him die. He says he was ready to go, and Dean says he wasn't. Cass watches uncomfortably, and then we get probably the biggest scene of all. Sam is upset about Kevin, but Dean says that blood is on his hands, and he'll be the one to burn for it. He pledges to find and kill Galadriel. He tells Sam that he's poisoned and that everyone near him gets killed. So Dean says he tries to think he helps more people than he hurts, but he isn't sure, and says he can drag anyone else down with him anymore. Sam tells him to go and says he won't stop him, so Dean goes. And that was the end of the episode. Overall, a pretty good episode in my opinion. I definitely enjoyed this episode a lot. One of the things I'm wondering is where is Galadriel now? Where's Galadriel? You know, he's out of Dean, so where is Galadriel now? We don't know. We did find out some interesting things, though. I mean, Sam is kind of like where Cass was. I kind of like the role reversal between Sam and Cass, and then Crowley and Dean. Crowley is where Dean is now, and I'm kind of thinking that Crowley had this really weird expression at the end of the episode. I'm kind of thinking that Galadriel might actually be in Crowley. I don't know. It's a really weird theory, but I don't know. That could happen. You know, Dean wanted to die, so we're going to have to see more of that. Let me know what you guys saw of this episode. Overall, I thought this episode was pretty good. Was it as good as the one before? No, this was not as good. Was it the strongest episode of the season? No, I don't think so. I do like how both Sam and Dean are both blaming themselves for Kevin's death, because it is very interesting. So that's it for my review. I hope you enjoyed it. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Okay, bye.